we saw from Aaron Rodgers that when you're falling forward, you're about to go down, but you think you can make the pass, champions and competitors make the throw. I have already become tired of the Aaron Rodgers pitch out of bounds. When he's running and he knows he's outside of the tackle, nothing's there, and he pitches it out of bounds. It's a safe play. But that is not the play that we want. If there is a window that is a minute window downfield to win a championship, we are going to need to make a few of those plays. Not all of them, but he's going to need to keep his eyes downfield and not bail on a few of those. And we saw this from Aaron Rodgers. A few of those falling down, and he thought he could make a play, and he didn't make it. That's going to be the difference between Aaron Rodgers maturing into a championship quarterback and us wishing we had our Hall of Famer back. That's one point I wanted to make. When competitors start to go down, it's so hard for them to throw out of bounds. And there's a reason for that. It's not just because Brett Favre was a gunslinger. That's the wrong answer. It's because Brett Favre was a competitor, and I did use his name. But that's our former quarterback, and I believe Aaron Rodgers can get there. But he's got a lot. I mean, I'm giving the guy time, I guess, is the main point. And that's why I wanted to go into the fact that we're only 4 games in, but this Atlanta game coming up is going to be a very important one for our offense for this reason. I wrote a blog on Packer Link Up that asked the question, is this Noah's Ark or is this the Titanic? At this point, as a Packer fan, I'm not sure if we're headed for a rainbow or if we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now, and it's going to get worse and worse. Injuries are adding up, and the uncertainty about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do in some of these situations, what he has proven is, in the big game, he's not necessarily going to be able to get it done. He's going to need the guys around him. If the guys around him falter, then we do not have a chance against the class of the league. We are not a good enough team yet. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys game showed me. What the game against the Buccaneers showed me is Aaron Rodgers is very vulnerable, not just to the great teams, but to teams that we should beat. He's vulnerable. He threw 3 picks. We also had a fumble. I believe the Buccaneers scored 21 of their points off turnovers. That is the difference in that game, a game we should have won. But I don't want to stick around and hang out on the Buccaneers game too long. We got to move on to Atlanta. But a few things to mention. AJ got hurt again. He's got a groin pull, and according to the coach, this is a pretty good pull, I think was his word. It does not look very good. Nick Barnett has not been as active. Since the Cowboys game, when they put Chiller in and sort of asked Nick Barnett to do, I think, too much, he has been more quiet than we've seen him in recent years. Our special teams, this gamble that Ted Thompson took with bringing in a new punter right before the season started is not necessarily looking like it's going to pay off. We've had some big problems. We're getting good coverage, but we need some big plays by Will Blackman and Jordy Nelson like we saw in the preseason and early in the season to right this ship. We don't want it to be the Titanic. We want it to be Noah's Ark, and there may be a rainbow at the end of this journey, but it starts with the Atlanta Falcons because Atlanta Falcons are a team that we should beat. On paper, we should beat the Falcons this week. So what we've got to do is Aaron Rodgers has got to get in there and play the kind of game that we know he can play. But I think our major problem in terms of our team winning against the Falcons is simply this. Our offensive line has got to start to live up to its expectations or somebody has to lose their job. If our line plays the way they played at the beginning of this season and none of these guards lose their job, Ted Thompson should lose his. It is time to get a good offensive line for our team. Aaron Rodgers has already gone down with injury. Ryan Grant his average is actually not, I think his average is like over 4 yards a carry. His average is actually not bad at all, but we haven't seen any of those big plays. We haven't seen the consistent threat of Ryan Grant. And I think for Aaron, under normal circumstances, getting 4+ yards a carry, hey, that's great. Just feed him the ball. But we haven't been able to just feed him the ball, even though his average is up there. And I think the reason for that is because we're just not sure what our running game is going to give us. Is it going to give us 10 yards or is it going to give us a 2-yard loss? And the average there might be good, but the running game is still not considered solid in that circumstance because you still can go 3 and out. You can have a first down, and then have negative yardage and go 3 and out. And that doesn't help us get in the end zone, which is the ultimate goal. So we're not confident in our running game yet because we have no confidence whatsoever in what our offensive line is going to do. These guys have got to perform. It's been 2 or 3 years now of this up and down, up and down. And I think Cliffy and Tauscher are still solid. I'm glad Scotty Wells was back. I don't think he's quite back from his injury. I'd like to see him at full strength, and I'm not sure he is. Um, I'm not sure down the road Scotty Wells and the zone blocking scheme, these sort of smaller guys, are what we need to beat. I've said all along, I know you need to deal with your division rivals first, but if we had a team that could beat the Dallas Cowboys, we would win our division. Is that not clear to every single person out there? If we have a good enough team to beat the Dallas Cowboys, we will, by default, we will win the NFC North. That's all there is to it. There is absolutely no one to compare to them in our division. And there's no reason for us to have to run this zone blocking scheme over and over, year in and year out, if it's not going to work. It may be time to think about picking up some big guys and powering Ryan Grant down some people's throats. I don't know exactly. I've liked at times what I've seen with the zone. But it's time to get there. Whether we're going to go back to a power blocking scheme or stick with this zone blocking and get the right guys in there, it's time to get there. Wherever there is, we're not there. And we don't know what we're going to see on any given Sunday. And our running back is hurting from it. We may have our quarterback out because of it. We've just got to get this fixed. And I'm sick to death of hearing Mike McCarthy say, "Well, it was just fundamental football." It's more than that. We need players, and we need to scheme better, and we need to have a team that can beat the Dallas Cowboys at this point. If we do that, we're going to go far. There's not going to be anybody that can't beat us, and we're very close. We were very close last year to being there. And this year, it would be the ultimate sin to take a step back. So against Atlanta, we've got to, we do have to take care of fundamental football. Don't throw the ball away and don't fumble. How does that sound? We've got to see how our defense performs being dinged up. We don't know where Atari Bigby's, if he's going to play. Colin Jenkins